My 34 meters wife, 26F, is acting completely different all of a sudden, not wanting to leave the house, not eating, not sleeping, freaking out when people are over. She's not telling me what's wrong. What do I do? Based on your comments and your wife's behavior, it sounds very likely that she was assaulted while you were gone. In your comments you said that the behavior started while you were away and that you talked consistently except for a few days when she was sick. I don't know about you, but there have been far fewer cold/flus among the people I know during this pandemic, which makes being sick a lot less likely, though there are obviously other causes like food poisoning or PMS that can make you feel pretty awful. I think it's entirely possible that she was assaulted during that time, possibly by one of your friends who stops by to use your shop. You said she has been really resistant to talking with you or to seeking help. The next time you bring up your concerns, it might help to voice some of the fears she might be having. If she was assaulted, you love her, you're worried about her. Her behavior has changed substantially since you left on your trip, and you can't help but think something happened while you were gone. If someone hurt her, it's not her fault. If someone hurt her, you won't love her any less. If someone you know hurt her, she is not the cause of a destroyed friendship. If she's not ready to talk to you about it, it's okay, but you need her to talk to someone. You can make a list of therapists or resources and leave it out for her. Maybe tell her if she wants you to make the appointment, she can just put a star next to their name on the list rather than having to say it out loud. Let her know that your friends won't be coming by the shop for the foreseeable future. While you guys figure things out, it may help her feel a little safer and reassure her that you'll believe her if she says she was assaulted. I've seen some couples have a little notebook that they write back and forth in to. Sometimes it's just happy, loving notes back and forth. Sometimes it's used to say the things that are too hard to say out loud before the conversation ends. Reassure her again that you love her, you're worried about her, and it's not her fault. Love your advice. Everybody's mentioning mental illness, but is it possible she was assaulted and hasn't felt comfortable enough to tell you yet? You say she used to go out and be active a lot and all of a sudden that stopped. Maybe something happened. Either way, she needs help. This is exactly what I was going to say, especially since Op was gone for 3 months. Could even be one of his friends the way she reacted when they were near, which would be a reason she'd be even more secretive. So, if I were you, I would tell my friends that the rules have changed and they are not permitted free access to my shop, property, and home. Your wife needs the ability to feel safe and comfortable, not be always on guard against people stopping by. Your shop is by appointment only, and those appointments are not made without your wife's knowledge and consent. She should know who is on the property at all times, and not have to guess or go outside and be surprised. If any of your friends do locker room talk, I would not allow those friends on the property, and not go to see them. I would tell your wife that you just didn't appreciate the way they were rude to women. Words are cheap. Make actions and changes to let her know you are listening to her and want her to feel safe. If what is going on is a medical issue and not a reaction to something that happened, you still would have made positive steps by setting some boundaries. As a woman who has people stopping by to use her property a lot, I can say that boundaries are better. I need to know when I can expect someone to be there and when I'm alone. I do not want men who locker room talk around at all. Not when I'm alone. And not with other men there who they can escalate with and who will take their side if I tell them they are out of line. Just going to add on to this. Watch for the friends who react badly to being put on an appointment type schedule and having it approved by your wife. This may tell you more and narrow down who might have hurt her if this is what happened. I'm not sure that I would even tell the friends that the wife had to approve it. That sets the wife up to be the bad guy. He needs to handle this, not throw any of it back on his wife when she is already distressed. The not without your wife's approval is information for the husband to keep in mind. For he and his wife, not a line to use on the friends. Yes, that makes sense. All of this, and you don't need to mention she's approving it. You'll get your answer if she hesitates to approve someone when she's had no problem approving others. Edit to add, tell her you want her to feel safe. And ask her what she needs from you to do that. Edit. Misspelled word. Sounds like one of your friends assaulted/raped her. She hasn't told you because she is convinced that you will take their side over her. Lol, how is this the conclusion? Wife acting weird. She was probably raped. Multiple people on here are saying that her actions look like a trauma response to an assault of some kind. And the kind of assault that women who have been alone are likely to experience is sexual. In the US, 1 in 6 women are sexually assaulted. And that's just according to reported cases. We don't actually know how high the numbers are, because the vast majority of sexual assaults go unreported. The other option, from what I know about sudden major personality/behavior shifts, is brain injury, brain tumor/disease, and severe mental health crisis. In other words, it sounds like something really awful is happening or has happened to her. So assault and rape are seriously not wild conclusions. Awful as they are, I totally agree it's a possibility. I'm just saying there isn't a whole lot of direct evidence at this point. She could be depressed, having a different mental health issue, checked out of the relationship, over the relationship, and cheating on him when he was away, could be in a funk, on her period, family issues, job issues, friend issues, really anything. On her period, it's been about a couple of months and she's lost weight and not eating and had a hysterical panic attack because his friends were nearby, being jumpy, not eating, not leaving the house when previously having been very outgoing. Yeah, it's not necessarily assault, but it really sounds like it, and those aren't normal responses to most of the reasons you listed. She needs medical help. She's refusing all help, telling me she doesn't need it. I don't know what to do past this point. Continue doing whatever you can to get her in front of an actual medical professional. This is well above the pay grade of any layperson, including yourself. I don't mean that harshly. I mean it pragmatically. You don't have the education to identify what's going wrong here and don't have a roadmap to navigate her out of it. Professionals do, and this situation warrants professional intervention. It is also possible that she has a tumor that is releasing adrenaline and causing her to not sleep, lose weight, panic, etc. It's super important that she goes to her primary care doctor and gets blood work done as soon as possible. You may have to force her to go by giving her an ultimatum, but do what you must. She may be very sick and this may not be just a mental health issue. She went for an annual checkup a few weeks ago and she said the doctor said all seemed fine except for the weight loss. This was just a primary though, and it was just an annual. I doubt she mentioned any of this to them. While this is an unlikely result, a general physical wouldn't really pick up on this kind of thing. It would be scans after the red flags are all tallied up by a doctor. It sounds like she's depressed. Something is seriously bothering her. Sit her down and ask her to open up to you. She probably needs therapy. I've tried a few times. Like I put, she just gets annoyed and tells me to drop it. She said she doesn't need a therapist. That's why I'm posting here. I don't know what to if she's refusing to tell me what's wrong or even acknowledge anything is up. Remove as many barriers as possible. Figure out who the good therapists are that are in network for her insurance. Look at their bias. Find out if they are taking new patients, etc. Because this sounds like trauma. Try to find someone with that specialty. Then, find a couples therapist and begin seeing that person on your own. Talk to that therapist about your worries and seek advice on how to support your wife. Let her know that she can wait as long as she needs to, but that whenever she is ready she can join you at the couples therapist and or you can help get her an appointment with an individual therapist each week. Say okay at 5 on Thursday we have an app with a couples therapist. Would you like to join? No pressure, but let me know anytime. And please follow all the advice above about not allowing your friends over. Be patient and get advice. This really sounds like trauma. This could be trauma. The onset of some like schizophrenia or another mental health disorder. Or even a brain tumor. She needs to see a doctor. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how to get her to agree to see a therapist. You could pitch it as an annual checkup, rather than addressing her current difficulties. She went for an annual a few weeks ago. She said doctor said all was well, but it was just her primary, and I doubt she mentioned any of this. If you're in the US, you could also get her involuntarily committed. If there is a local crisis center or mental health facility, call them and ask what the standard procedure and requirements are. Can you call her family or friends to help? Maybe if other people in her life draw attention to it, she might seek help. You can't force a non-dangerous person to seek help. Some people with mental illness don't show signs of the disease until early to mid-20s. If something traumatic hasn't happened, then she might have an undiagnosed mental illness. I would calmly explain your concerns and see if she will seek help. Whenever she talks to them, she says everything is fine to them too. I don't think anything traumatic happened to her. I was gone for a little while and this started around then. She hasn't said anything happened then though. I'll keep trying to talk to her. Thank you. How long is a little while? 3 months. About when did you go? I'm guessing your wife is having a depressive/anxious episode. Please urge her to talk to a therapist, ASAP. It's very usual. Many people suffer with anxiety and depression episodes, and this has dramatically increased during the pandemic. Hell, I know both my husband and I struggled with our mental health for months, and it's still taking a toll on people's lives. Still, it's something that needs to be checked sooner rather than later. However, don't push it. Don't ask her what's wrong. Ask her how she's feeling. Struggling with mental health is very challenging on its own, and it takes people some time to realize that they are struggling. The "it's fine" attitude is not a lie towards you, it's a defense mechanism. She wants to believe that there is nothing wrong, and from her perspective, there is nothing wrong, because nothing dramatic happened that would explain her mental health issues. So the mind does not perceive that there is a legitimate reason for things to feel different. The human mind is a renowned arsehole in that regard, that harms us while it's trying to protect us. Love her. Show that. And don't impose how you perceive or witness she feels and behaves. Ask her open-ended questions, like how are you feeling, and how was your sleep, but randomly. That way you're opening a path for her to perceive the changes in her behavior in a way that does not feel like an attack. I wish you luck. I've been where you are, and thank goodness my husband is out of that episode now. It's scary, it's stressful, and it makes one feel helpless. My heart goes to both of you. I'm asking a genuine question here. If any person is in depression, will they become jumpy and stuff? As for me, she is scared to that extent, or she is being guilt-ridden. Either one has to be the cause. That's why I added anxiety to the equation. Anxiety will make you jumpy AF. Speaking from personal and professional experience, when I have an anxiety episode, or even a low threshold day, everything can make me jump. It's like constantly hearing the boss music on a video game. Every stimulus makes my whole body jerk. It's painful. It's exhausting. It's emotionally and physically draining. Okay, now I got your thought.